Hey, what's up you guys? My name is Esley Greer from Entertainment Fanatic Reviews, back with another video, and in today's video I'll be reviewing Galaxy Quest alongside Tristan over at CollectorMan. Really excited to talk about it, so let's get into it. So yes, I've actually never seen Galaxy Quest. I know it's a well-beloved film along sci-fi fans alike. It didn't do great at the box office, but it does have a very strong cult following. And I was more than excited to check out this film, mainly because of the cast involved and the premise itself. You have everyone from Tim Allen, Sigourney Weaver, Alan Rickman, Sam Rockwell, and others. Later on, we're going to hear Tristan's thoughts about this film. But as for the plot, story, and direction, I really like the premise of this, where you have sci-fi actors that have to deal with real-life consequences that do involve aliens and other beings, which I thought was really cool. It sort of reminds me of the sci-fi version of 13 Fanboy, which is a film that's coming out this October that I've been following for the last 3 years, but it has a lot of the Friday the 13th alumni having to deal with a super psychotic fan that's out to kill them. So it's sort of like the sci-fi version of that film, but yeah, as for everything else, the music in here doesn't really stand out to me. The comedy does, but we'll get into that with the acting. But other than the premise itself, it does touch upon the same beats as a lot of other sci-fi films. But for plot, story, and direction, I'm going to give it a 4.25 out of 5. And so on to the special effects and practical effects. There is a nice balance of practical effects and special effects. The special effects don't really hold up that well. You know, shots of the ship and then like a 3D model of the ship that takes place later on in the film. Then you have like this rock creature that Tim Allen has to face when he gets trapped on these planets. But the only thing that does look good with the special effects are those little minion creatures that you think are good at first, but then they turn out to be evil little bastards too. So yeah, that's the only thing that looks good in my opinion with the special effects. But for practical effects, there's a lot that holds up. The pig creature, and then you have Cecere, which is the main villain of this film. Him and his little army, they all look really good. And then you have like other shots of people dressed up as aliens, or like people at the con, they're dressed up as specific characters and they look cool as well. So I always prefer practical effects over special effects, so I'm going to be nice and give the special effects and practical effects a 4 out of 5. And so on to the acting. Everyone involved has a moment to shine. You have the likes of Tim Allen, Sigourney Weaver, Alan Rickman, Sam Rockwell, and others. All these characters have a moment to stand out, but like those main four are the main ones that I gravitate towards, mainly because a lot of them have some funny dialogue, or you just really care for their character. Tim Allen does have times to shine with his comedic effects, and so does Sam Rockwell. He's just like this guy that thinks he's gonna die because his character in a certain episode died 5 minutes within the episode, so here he is freaking out about him dying. And then you have Alan Rickman that is sort of like the real life Squidward in this movie. I don't know why, but I see it that way. Then you have Sigourney Weaver. She's just really beautiful to look at in this film, which is sort of weird to say, but that's besides the point. That's sort of what her character is known for anyway. But she only has one job, and that's to talk to the computer, and they make a joke out of that, and I thought that was really funny. Then, like I said, everyone else has their time to shine, whether if it's like 1 or 2 times, but the main cast has a lot of time to shine. Then you have a lot of familiar faces that pop out throughout this film. I've had a few that I recognize, like Justin Long, and then this guy from The Rieger. You want to fight with that? Then you have this chick that plays in a few Tim Burton films alongside like a couple of bad Shane Dawson films, but that's besides the point. Even my wife recognized somebody in this film, which is this guy. I don't know who he is, but she said that he played in one of her shows that she watches. So for acting, I'm going to give it a 4.5 out of 5. So before I get into the ending and finale, I'm going to let Tristan over at the CollectorMan take over. So take it away, dude.
Hello all, this is CollectorMan, and I collect all things entertainment related, including horror. And first, I want to thank Entertainment Fanatic Reviews for having me on the channel to talk about one of my favorite films, Galaxy Quest. I have a pretty long history with this film. I saw it upon its theatrical release. I saw this with my dad, and at around this time I was already a fan of things such as Star Trek: The Next Generation and the Star Wars films, and I was also already familiar with Tim Allen because I grew up with his sitcom Home Improvement, And I was already a fan of Sigourney Weaver through her role as Dana Barrett in the Amazing Ghostbusters films, so seeing this movie at the theater was pretty much a no-brainer for me. Also in this cast is the amazing late great Alan Rickman, and the characters in this movie are what really hold this together. There's a lot going on for this film, but the characters is definitely one of them. The chemistry between them is really great to see. They do an amazing job in their performances, very believable. And the effects in this movie really hold up, I think, today. That was one of the best things about seeing this at the theater on the big screen, are the amazing effects. At one point in this movie, the crew is forced to land on a nearby planet to acquire a beryllium sphere in order to repair their ship. And let's just say that the aliens that they encounter on this planet aren't quite as friendly as they appear to be, and this is a really great scene. It has a lot of great effects. Tim Allen's character is forced to tussle with a rock creature and a pig monster. Yes, a pig monster, and it is an amazing practical effect. The practical effects in this movie are really great. And all in all, this movie just really holds up, and I have recommended this movie to many people and shown this film to many people, and they have all enjoyed it. And the great thing about this movie is that you don't really have to be a fan of the genre to get the movie. And this also doesn't really make fun of the genre or the fans that much. It's really more of a loving tribute to the genre. In fact, a super fan of the genre within the movie is very critical in helping the crew near the end of the film. So I highly recommend this movie. And I just want to leave you with 2 facts, if I may, because I love my facts. This movie was not a financial success at the box office, but it was beloved by critics and audiences alike. I do believe it wasn't a financial success because of the release date. This definitely feels like a summer event film, and it was released on December 25th of 1999. I think it really would have benefited from a summer release. Also, the studio really wanted this film to be rated PG, and this film originally was slapped with a PG-13 rating. There were 2 things that had to be cut. One thing was the character of Gwen DeMarco, played by Sigourney Weaver, was apparently getting a little hot and heavy with some aliens, and there was also an F-bomb that had to be dubbed over in this movie. If you pay attention near the end of the film to the Chompers scene, where Sigourney Weaver and Tim Allen's characters are forced to crawl through this contraption, you can tell that Sigourney Weaver's lips do not match up with the line, "Screw that!" But this movie is just really great, and what I want to leave you with is the wise words of Captain Peter Quincy Taggart: never give up, never surrender.
I want to thank you so much for joining me in this video, which there's 2 totally different perspectives for this film. I'm someone that has never seen it, and then he's someone that grew up with it and loved it. And I could definitely see the love for this film, and you touch upon some really great points, and I want to thank you so much for being on the channel. Can't wait for our next collab, bro. So, for the ending and finale, it sort of plays out a little bit differently than you think, but it does remind you of certain films. There's like a callback to Alien with like the shoots and stuff, but after that, they think they defeated the main villain of this film, and before they crash land into the con, which I thought was really funny, he wakes back up and then they shoot him after they all get off the ship and onto the stage, which I thought was really funny. Yeah, but it'd be funny to be there, like in real life, not in the movie, but like seeing this ship crash land, and it'd be funny just to see that, and funny to see all the damage that it's done. But I just thought that was a really funny part of the film. But then again, this whole film is a comedy, so there's a lot of standout scenes in here. But yeah, that's going to do it for this review for Galaxy Quest. I'm going to give the ending a 4 out of 5, mainly because it wasn't the best, but it did put a smile on my face and make me laugh, because, like, realistically, they'd probably be sued for what they did to the building and to like all the cars in the parking lot. But I wish there was a sequel to this, but unfortunately Alan Rickman passed away about 5 years ago. He passed away around the same time that David Bowie did, so we lost two legends that same month, I believe. But yeah, that's besides the point. I wish there was a second film, but I don't see that happening anytime soon. But for what we got, I really did enjoy this film, so I'm going to give Galaxy Quest an overall grade of an 81%. Make sure to go subscribe to Tristan's channel. He's a really cool guy, and I want him more on the channel, and maybe we can collab on your channel sometime, bro. But I want to thank you guys so much for watching this video, and I'll see you guys in the next one.